All right, folks, back on the Bossman Show, friend of the show, Brian Barone, SIUE Cougars out of the OVC up there in St. Louis. Brian, how things been with you, brother, since last talk a couple years ago, man?
It's been great. It's been great. Things are going well. We got a healthy wife and kids, and I'm healthy as a coach can be. So life is good right now.
Can believe it's been 4 years already, man, since you've been at SIUE. Can you believe it?
No, I mean, because those 2 years I don't even know what happened. I don't know what year was year. We had a game every other day for 2 straight years. You're just you don't see people. You have masks on your face. You don't know you can't have pregame. You can't have postgame. You're just, next thing you know, 4 years later, here we go. So it's been a pleasure though. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt. And for you, how have you seen the program grow? Because I know in jobs such as yours at SIUE, it's a developmental job. You have to rebuild that thing from scratch. So how has it been having an administration who understands, hey, this is a rebuild and give you time to put your step on this program and look what it's doing now. 7-4 in non-conference play, top of the OVC. So it's giving you patience, let you do your thing, is paying off.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to have people that understand like what has been done, what has been done here before and what hasn't. And you have to do things differently to get different results. And it's just from different things, from travel to how you eat to how you train. I always talk about, if it affects winning and losing, you got to fight for it as you're building a culture and establishing a culture that hasn't really. Now Division II, they've had a lot of success. Coach Simmons was over at Eastern Illinois, is a heck of a coach, and he had a lot of success here in the past. So I do like the fact that there has been a winning tradition here at some point over the last, over its time. The last 10, 11 years hasn't been quite as much. So what you got to do is you have to fight for the things that affect winning and losing, while you're educating on the things that you want those luxuries to take that next step. And we've really focused on ourselves and our team and building the relationships within our team, and right now it's paying off. Right now it is for us.
You have a good mix, man, of younger and older guys, which is good to have this day where it's in want to go. I would go all portal, all old all the time, but I do feel like you need to have some guys develop in that pipeline to come up and get those guys experience. So when those guys graduate, you have some in house without having to have a whole new team every year, trying to get people chemistry come together every year.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that I like, really, even when I got the job. So you get the job as an interim. So that's, got that stigma on you right away. You're going into someone's house and they're talking about like, are they invested into you? And, one thing that you get a lot of is the administration invested. And, fortunately, they were, but initially, it was, it got a lot of it. Oh, can you see me?
I sure can.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. These computers, come on. I'm getting
Yeah.
too old. It's my birthday in a few days. So once I hit 45, I guess I'm not going to remember how to do anything at this
I was going
point.
to ask you about this. I was asking you about your birthday. He took us my thunder, Brian, but it's all good.
No, when I got the job, one of the main things, talking about Memphis, we were a little bit ago. You get advice from a bunch of different people. Just go get older, win right away, establish. And I understand that. But I think in coaching, one of the two hardest things you got to do is you have to have that honesty within who you are and to your team, and you have to build genuine relationships. And you do that by sticking true to who you are. And, I thought, like, when we first got the job here, I went and got Lamar and Shamar Wright, and they were skinny, little guys that had a lot of talent. Probably weren't going to impact you from day one from a physical standpoint. But they were who I was about, and they were what my vision was. And we've done a pretty good job of sticking to that. The next year we have a lot of players, but, Rayshawn Taylor, local guy, again, a freshman, invested into this program. And every year I think we've had a good job of retaining guys, while also adding in some transfers or junior college talent. And that's just what I know. And that's what I'm comfortable with. I got into this business where it's all about building those relationships and having that family concept and vibe. And, You can't do that year in and year out with 13 new guys. Now we have a guy, Jalen Hodge, who's a 1-year guy from James Madison, who's impacted our program because he's our kind of guy. And so it's just you just got to balance it, I guess.
I mean, so you said something so great. It's about fit, because I feel like it's not talent might be, if it's not the right fit, it could ruin your chemistry. You know, being around the NBA, and I've been around the NBA, we know a trade or a signing and does not mess with the chemistry of the locker room can wreck a team and what we're trying to accomplish together. So it's that fit piece is so important when you try to go in that portal, find a guy to fit the program and what your vision is.
It is, it's such an important, like, I was a transfer. My dad was the head coach at Texas A&M. He signed me. I got him fired. That's on him. Like, he should have got a better point guard than me. But so I understand there's reasons that guys are leaving and going, and it could be from maybe it wasn't the right fit for them at the place they were at. And one of the things I always talk about, like, I want to recruit guys, and I want to show you how much I want you because of X, Y, and Z. I think you can fit in terms of their style of play. I think you're the kind of character we want. We need your position. But I also always tell them, I look across them from the table and I say, I want you to want to be here as well. For that, I don't want to just convince you to be here. I want that relationship to be where, like, in those dog days where we're looking at each other and you're wanting to, like, think of some kind of way, some kind of thing about me when I'm telling you to touch that line an extra time or two. We got to understand that the two of us chose to be here together. And I think that's part of that fit, and you say about the NBA, like when the Grizzlies turned everything around down there, my dad and brother were down there. They went and got Tony Allen. They went and got Zebo. They had Shane Battier. They had a bunch of, Pau Gasol before people knew Pau. Like, those were guys that were establishing a certain kind of culture that they needed to be special with the Grizzlies. And even Jason Williams, how are him and Hubie Brown going to fit? All those kind of things. They were all the right fit that they were doing. And now they've kind of taken off in these last couple decades, obviously. And I think that, when I was fortunate enough to see that kind of leadership in my own house on the importance of fit and the importance of culture, I'm trying to just mirror that here.
Crazy, man. Yesterday, seeing the pyramids in a Bass Pro Shop. That threw me off, man.
They're right. I don't even want to hear that.
I was like, really? The pyramid where I should go watch games at is now a Bass Pro Shops. I said, I can't go up there. I'm not doing that. I don't remember that for Grizzly games with Matt Devlin, Hersey Hawkins. I remember it for that stuff. Man. Not
the Hawk. The Hawk was my hero growing up because he was at Bradley when my dad was at Bradley. So Hersey was as class act as they come.
Yeah, man. Brian, I'll tell you, brother, I saw that, man. It hurt my heart when they told me there was a Bass Pro Shops, man. It hurt my heart to the core, man. But talk about this, man. Like, the Hawks had we won in overtime against the Bulls. It was a close game. It was all the young guys out there. Griffin and Johnson was two young guys from Duke who got us to win on a great play thrown up by Coach Prunty. So talk about winning close games for your guys. You can do it in practice, put time on the clock. It's not the same without a referee, without another team there. It's not the same. So talk about winning close games, teaching your young men about executing that last 5 minutes of the game when it's really close. Because as you and I both know, this game's about possessions. It's not talent, it's possessions.
No, that's a great question. I think, I'd be interested to see those guys, the Hawk. I wonder how many times they failed in some close games, a year or two ago, whatever it is. And I think that's, we just had two close games this week against Missouri Valley opponents of Bradley and Illinois State, and didn't capitalize on some late game situations, put ourselves in position to win. I think it's a fine line of, you have to understand you got to go through some of that through experience. Well, how do you get the experience? Well, you got to be in those games. Well, then, you then got to watch the film afterwards. You got to not just say, hey, we need to execute better. You need to show them why. You need to show, and it starts with myself. I got to look at, did I have the guys in the right position? How much time did I spend in practice talking about these scenarios? And then you just got to continue to educate. You got to build them up throughout it. Because sometimes when you lose those close games, you want to, as a coach, it feels good to yell. It feels good to say we could have done this better. But if you make it critical in terms of how to learn, I think those games will eventually turn in your favor if you continue to be in those type of games.
No doubt. I feel like film work is so important. Film work, getting out because I'm a lot of guys. I'm visual, Brian. I'm very visual, so I know when I play football. Watching the film for me helped me seeing what defense do. So I got in the field. I knew how I got leverage. They could play man or zone or combo or whatever. So for me, film work was important. And also, I feel like when a young man's IQ gets that mind IQ where you can kind of see before it happens. It's one like a young man's really developed as a player. It really is really a guy you can trust because you can do that mind mental reps in your mind and get on the court and do it. It's like easy to you now. Oh, I remember it's on film. Let's make it happen.
Well, and that's a that's a big time observation because what you do, your preparation allows you to start have better reaction, in my opinion. So you go in there, I have 90 plays. I'm sitting there, and you probably call like 5 of them during the game when it's all said and done. But you're always playing these scenarios in your head, and you're always, what am I anticipating? What am I thinking? What do I see going into the game? And then ultimately, at that time, you have to react. So you just want to continue to be prepared through that film work, through the scouting reports, through just like talking and walk through. So then the player, like I always tell our guys, like, I can't do what you guys do. You guys are good, man. Like, you guys can hoop. I just need to put you in a position where at that moment you have been there before. You're recognizing it. And now let the player play. If it's a reaction to kick to the corner or to put that shoulder down and get to the rim, I got to trust the player to do that. And it's sometimes hard as a coach because, as many times as you want to be perfect and you want to say, oh, no, this is what we should have done. If you really look at it, there's a lot of times that a guy goes and makes a shot that I didn't draw, and they're big shots. And you just have to allow each other to kind of play off each other. But you do that through the preparation of film and scouting.
No doubt. And I'm seeing OVC standings. I mean, for the most part, you all doing pretty good now, Carlos. Most of you 500 or above. You're Tennessee State or got above 500. Talk about OVC and the newcomers in the OVC there with Lindenwood, Little Rock, and USI are playing well right now. So you got a tough year in OVC. Look like up and down.
Yeah, I mean it's a big time league. It's the I've been in it now 5 years as being an assistant as well, and going on 6. I think that the talent in this league, you look at the amount of NBA guys that are in there, just for lack of a better term. I mean, that's you see there's probably 5, 6, or 7 current NBA guys in the OVC right now. I think that you lost a few teams that people knew, but like Little Rock has always been very good. It's a very good program. USI is prepared to go to Division I. They have administratively and basketball wise, and probably all sports. I know basketball better, obviously. They're prepared to do it. Lindenwood is carrying almost 30 athletics programs, so they know what it takes to run an athletics program. And then you got Tennessee State who's playing really. Yeah, I mean it's a league every night in a day in and day out. You're going to have some competition, and there's a lot of tradition and history within the league as well. And there's a ton of talent.
No doubt. And I tell people they'll be okay without Belmont and Murray. They'll be okay. Now, some rivalries went away, but the league's fine. The Stan does a good job. So does Coach Kyle do a good job as well, and Darryl Walker. So who was down here at CAU for a little while here in
Yep.
Atlanta. So it's like, hey, and it's gonna be okay. And I see it. I see the talent growing. And I feel like with the super seniors and a lot of the COVID year, guys a little bit older, so it's gonna be even more quality basketball. So it's like you all competing against Bradley and Illinois State being in those games. It's not shocking because guys a little bit older right now.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's another great observation. I think with our team in particular, we really work on the relationships and the culture, and that's allowed our retention. You have 2 preseason all OVCs guys coming back for the first time in school history. That we've had that. We have a lot of you got the Wright twins that are essentially 4 starters from the previous year in some capacity. I think that's very important because I think the guys who are in the league and the guys who have seen the league grow within our team respect it, and they're like, oh, this is the right place. This is high level competition. You're treated well here. Coaches care about us. The players care about the coaches. The way they treat my wife and kids is just a blessing to me. So I think that if we, as teams in tradition, continues to be built upon and looked at, a team, the conference like the OVC, they've done a great job of marketing and branding ourselves with the tournament where it is in Evansville, and they're doing it again these next few years. I think it's just we've really sustained what we've built on over the last several years.
No doubt, no doubt. What's on the road? We'll be on the road in DC and in Miami when you all in Evansville. So I can't go up there and see it, man. Because I want to go up there and gamble. I told Stan, I'm like, Stan, I like to gamble. Evansville, I like to gamble, man. So when I come up there, I want to go to the casino when I go.
Well, come on, you can gamble on a Tuesday, some random night too, and catch us practice and see us play Thursday. You name it, we got you.
No doubt, brother. And talk about you. I saw you sign two guys, man, Jordan Pickett and Ethan Yancey. Talk about those young men, which is how you see them fit into your program next year when they get to you guys.
Yeah, one of the things that when I first took over, I really wanted to establish a better local presence, presence in recruiting locally. JP Jordan Pickett is a big time player locally. I think he can come in and contribute from day one for a variety of reasons. He has the ability to put the ball in the hole. He also has a very good IQ, and his body is, he's a big, strong kid already. So I'm excited about that. We've done a very good job locally creating a buzz with the kind of guys that the community's used to. And then they also have to have the right kind of surroundings around them because there's a certain kind of pressure locally. And I think JP is definitely capable of doing that. And then Ethan Yancey, he's originally from Houston. He's out in the Western Kansas playing one of the best junior college conferences in the country. Really has a knack to score. He's got good athleticism. That was a very big sign for us. Had a pretty high reputation and had a lot of options and really kind of fell in love with what we were, how we want. Again, that goes back to I really wanted him, but he also really wanted to be here. So to his credit and his surroundings, the people around him, they didn't want to look for the next thing. They wanted to look for the right thing. They felt it was us. So we're excited about those two guys coming in for sure.
That's one I want to wish you happy early birthday. Your birthday will be on Thursday. That's happy early birthday. So, what is your plans for your birthday? And I know you have a game on the weekends. What are your plans for that night with the wife and kids, man?
Oh, you know what? I have learned that my birthday doesn't matter anymore. And my birthday is more about what the four little ones want for my birthday. So we are going to definitely have some sort of cake that I'm sure one of my daughters is going to pick with a flavor. I get to we're actually going to read at my kid's school. We're doing community service that morning. We're going to then go to the Christmas show. I'll have 4 kids singing 8th through kindergarten. So that'll be about 2 hours of me sitting in, listen to a lot of glorious music that evening. And I'll probably hope to get them to bed and maybe sit down and talk to my wife for about 10 minutes when it's all said and done. But I wouldn't have it any other way. That's what family's about on my birthday.
I got one more for you. Your birthday is 2 days from Christmas. So how was that growing up? Did you get shafted because it's so close to Christmas?
Yeah, you know what? It was, and my brother's is right after. It's December 31st. So he always had he thought everyone was celebrating, his birthday was really just New Year's. But for me, I figured it out strategically. It took me a few years, but you go big on your birthday. All right. You go big for what you wanted on your birthday. You typically didn't get the big ticket item that Santa could follow up with 10 days later. But what you really did a good job of is you appreciated everything that I got on December 15th. You acted right. You were very graceful for everything. And then you just threw in there like, oh, it's okay. I didn't get my remote control car. I got everything I wanted. And usually Santa stepped up about 10 days later. But I had to appreciate everything on the 15th. But it took me a few years to figure that one out.
Yes, indeed. I'm glad I'm in March. See, my mom was January 9th. So
okay.
My mom kind of, she said back when she grew up, she said, well, it's like, do you want this or this? She had an option.
Yeah. Yeah. You reestablished your plan of attack on, okay, this didn't work. Maybe I was like Ralphie in Christmas Story. You had to go after that Red Ryder BB gun the right way. And eventually that BB gun showed up.
Yes, indeed. Well, Brian, good to talk to you as always, my brother. Hope to see you soon. I hope look at the Hawks games. Hopefully I can catch you in at Tennessee State or Evansville this year. We works out on off day for so I'll be cheering for you as always, brother. I'm going to talk to you again, man.
Thanks. It's great. Thank you for having me. I always appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Anytime, brother. Be safe. See you soon, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.